Life doesn't come with a manual. It doesn't follow your plans. And right now, some of you are learning that lesson the hard way. I remember the moment it hit me. Not in a boardroom, not in a classroom, but in the dust and chaos of an Iraqi ambush. Bullets flying, explosions everywhere, and one crystal clear thought. This is what life feels like when everything goes wrong at once. Let me tell you something about life's ambushes. They don't announce themselves. They don't play fair. They hit you when you least expect it, and they hit you hard. Maybe it's a phone call at 3 a.m. Maybe it's a medical diagnosis you weren't prepared for. Maybe it's watching everything you've built crumble in a single moment. In special operations, we have a term for that moment when everything goes wrong. We call it the X. It's the point of impact, the center of the storm, the moment when life stops being what you expected and starts being what you never imagined. And here's the truth that most people don't want to hear. Life is unfair. It's difficult. And what makes it even more difficult for many people is that they don't think it should be difficult. They're looking for the easy way out, the quick fix, the shortcut to success. But there are none. Let me share 3 fundamental truths about surviving life's ambushes that I learned the hard way. Truth number 1, the X is not your destination. When you're in the middle of an ambush, whether it's on the battlefield or in life, your natural instinct is to freeze, to focus on the pain, to get stuck on the X. But here's what special operations taught me. The X is not a destination. It's a decision point. I worked with a woman who lost everything in a divorce, her house, her savings, her sense of identity. She was stuck on the X, replaying the moment everything fell apart. But then she did something remarkable. She chose to move. Not because she felt ready, not because she had a perfect plan, but because she understood that staying on the X meant certain defeat. Remember this. The longer you stay on the X, the deeper you sink. Like quicksand, every moment of inaction makes movement more difficult. Truth number 2. Short-term pain for long-term gain. Life is like a bow and arrow. Sometimes, to move forward, you have to pull back. To gather strength, to find your aim, to prepare for launch. I met a man who was diagnosed with a severe injury. The doctors told him he'd never walk again. But instead of accepting that prognosis, he chose to ignore the limitations others put on him. He didn't focus on becoming who he used to be, because that was impossible. Instead, he focused on becoming the best version of his new self. This is what most people get wrong about adversity. They try to avoid the pain instead of using it. They seek comfort instead of growth. But comfort is quicksand, and growth is solid ground. Truth number 3, the Phoenix Principle. There's an ancient myth about a bird that rises from its own ashes. But here's what the myth doesn't tell you. Before the rising comes the burning. Before the transformation comes the destruction. Think about that for a moment. Every tragedy, every setback, every moment of defeat, it's not just an ending. It's a potential beginning. But only if you choose to see it that way. I've seen soldiers turn battlefield scars into strength. I've seen entrepreneurs turn bankruptcy into billions. I've seen broken hearts become unbreakable spirits. Not because they were special, not because they were lucky, but because they chose to get off the X. Here's your battle plan for surviving life's ambushes. First, acknowledge the reality, don't sugarcoat it. Don't deny it. Look your situation straight in the eye and say, "This is where I am." Because you'll never get off the X until you admit you're on it. Second, stay busy, Stay moving. Movement is life. Action is power. When you're facing a challenge, don't stop. Keep working your plan. Keep taking steps forward, no matter how small. Third, choose your sign. Every door has a sign. Some read dead end. Others read no exit. But you have the power to create your own sign, to write your own story, to choose what this moment means for you. Remember this: life is cyclic. Whatever you're experiencing right now, it hasn't come to stay. It has come to pass. Like waves in the ocean, like seasons in the year, this too shall pass. But here's the key: while you can't control life's ambushes, you can control your response to them. You can choose to let them destroy you, or you can choose to let them rebuild you, stronger, wiser, more resilient than before. The perfect moment will never come. The time to move is now. The time to get off the X is now. So let me ask you, when life ambushes you, and it will, who will you choose to be? Will you stay frozen on the X, or will you move? Will you focus on what you've lost, or will you focus on what you can become? Because right now, in this moment, you have a choice. You can declare all-out war on mediocrity. You can choose to overcome. You can choose to move forward. The X is not your destination. It's just your starting point. What's your next move?
Have you ever wondered why some people seem to achieve the impossible while others remain stuck in mediocrity? Let me tell you about Michael. At 5 a.m. on a freezing winter morning, while the city sleeps, he's already at the gym. No audience, no applause. Just the echo of his own determination bouncing off empty walls. You see, most people love the spotlight, but they run from the shadows. They want the glory of the podium, but they're not willing to embrace the solitude of the laboratory. Today, we're going to explore what truly separates champions from dreamers. It's not talent, it's not luck. It's something far more powerful: relentless dedication.
We all know that person minus the hardest worker in the room. They arrive before dawn and leave after dark. While others seek comfort, they chase growth. While others make excuses, they make progress. But here is what most people don't understand about relentless dedication. It's not about working hard once.
It's about showing up every single day, especially when no one is watching. Let's dive into 3 fundamental truths about the power of relentless dedication. First truth: the glory is in the green. Champions aren't born on podiums. They're forged in empty gyms, quiet libraries, and solitary workspaces.
It's the thousands of hours when no one's watching that create the moments everyone wants to see. I remember coaching a student who wanted to transform his life. He was struggling academically, barely maintaining a 2.0 SEMBIATS. But instead of accepting mediocrity, maintaining a 2.0 SEMBI, but instead of accepting mediocrity, he made a decision.
For 12 months straight, he would arrive at the library at 5 a.m. every single day. His friends called him crazy. "Why are you trying so hard?" they'd ask. His response? Because average isn't an option anymore. Challenge #1. Start your day 3 hours earlier than usual for 1 week. Document how you use this extra time for growth. Second truth: pain is your greatest teacher. Most people run from discomfort. They see pain as something to avoid. But those who achieve greatness understand a fundamental truth. Pain is not your enemy. It's your mentor. Think about a diamond. What creates its unbreakable strength? Pressure, heat, time. You are no different. Every early morning when your body begs for more sleep, every extra rep when your muscles scream for rest, every additional hour of study when your mind wants to quit. These are not obstacles. They are opportunities. Let me share something powerful. Success is not about avoiding suffering. It's about choosing which pain you are willing to endure. Challenge #2. Choose one difficult task you've been avoiding. Commit to working on it for 30 minutes every day for the next 30 days. Third truth: Character is built in the small moments. You know what's fascinating about true champions? It's not what they do in the big moments. It's what they do in the small ones. How you hold yourself when no one's watching. How you perform when there's no applause. How you persist when there's no immediate reward. These are the building blocks of greatness. I worked with an Olympic athlete who had a simple philosophy.
He said, every rep is a vote for who I want to become. Think about that. Every choice you make is casting a vote for your future self. Ariade number 3. For 1 week, act as if everything you do in private will eventually become public. How does this change your behavior? The assistance path, being relentless, means embracing a warrior mentality. It means looking fear in the eye and moving forward anyway. Remember, pain is temporary, quitting lasts forever. Every step toward pain is a step toward greatness. The Fine Academy here is what I want you to do right now. Take out a piece of paper, write down your biggest dream now. Write down what you are willing to sacrifice to achieve it. Take as ears the truth. Success isn't about what you want to gain.
It's about what you're willing to lose. Are you willing to lose sleep? Are you willing to lose comfort? Are you willing to lose the approval of those who don't understand your journey? The closing truth, let me leave you with this. Success doesn't come to those who wish for it.
It comes to those who work for it. Every day. Without fail. Without excuses. The path to greatness is not a mystery. It's just that most people aren't willing to walk it. But you are different. You are here because something inside you knows that you were meant for more. So let me ask you one final question. What will you do at this moment? Right now, when no one is watching, because in the end, it's not about who's the most talented or who has the most resources. It's about who's willing to be the hardest worker in the room. Your legacy starts now, in this moment, with your next choice. What will it be?
Have you ever stood at the edge of giving up? That moment when every fiber of your being screams quit. When the weight of your dreams feels too heavy to carry. When the path ahead seems impossible to navigate. I know that feeling. I've been there. We all have. But what I'm about to share with you today isn't just about motivation. It's about something deeper. Something raw and real. It's about the power that lives within you. The power to stand strong when everything around you is crumbling. Let me tell you a story. Yesterday I gave everything I had, every ounce of energy, every bit of effort. And you know what happened? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But today I'm going to do it all over again. And I'm going to try even harder. That's what this journey is about. That's what separates the champions from the quitters. That's what makes the difference between a dream achieved and a dream abandoned. You see, life has this peculiar way of testing us. It's like climbing a mountain in the dark. The path is steep, the winds are harsh. Sometimes it feels like you're not moving forward at all. But here's what most people don't understand about perseverance first. Let's talk about the reality of the struggle. When the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, when you want to smile, but you have to sigh, that's not the time to quit. That's the time to dig deeper. That's the time to stand stronger. Think about this. Every champion you admire, every success story that inspires you, every victory that seems miraculous, they all share one common thread. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's the simple, powerful decision to keep going when giving up seemed like the only option. Here's what I've learned about the urge to quit. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a call to rise. When you feel like giving up, you're actually standing at the threshold of your breakthrough. The enemy of your dreams knows this. That's why the pressure becomes most intense right before your victory. Let me break this down into 3 crucial truths. Truth #1. The power of one more try. Imagine you're trying to get up after being knocked down. If you try once and fail, that's not the end. If you try 100 times and fail, that's still not the end. Because as long as you're willing to try one more time, there's always hope. Always. I once met a man who failed in business 5 times before succeeding. When I asked him what kept him going, he said something I'll never forget. Success is failure turned inside out. The silver tint of the clouds of doubt. You never can tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems afar. Your challenge. Next time you face failure, instead of asking, why me? Ask, what's next? Because there's always a next step. Always another try. Always another door. Truth #2. The strength in solitude here is a hard truth that few people talk about. In your darkest moments, you are alone. When you're in the pit, in the sewer of life, no one's coming to pull you out. It's just you, your mind, and your spirit. But that's not a curse. It's a blessing. Because when you learn to stand strong alone, you become unstoppable together. When you learn to fight your inner battles, the external ones become easier to handle. Think about David facing Goliath. Everyone saw a shepherd boy against a giant, but David saw something different. He saw an opportunity to prove that with faith and courage, no giant is too big to fall. Your challenge: spend 10 minutes each day in complete solitude. No phone, no distractions. Just you, facing your thoughts, strengthening your resolve. Truth #3. The glory of the grind. We live in a world obsessed with overnight success. But here's the truth. All of us are created equal, but some work harder. Some get up at 2:30 in the morning. Some don't make excuses. Some don't surrender. The glory isn't in the achievement, it's in the grind. It's in those moments when you're working hard and seeing no results, but you keep pushing anyway. It's in those early mornings when your body begs for more sleep, but your dreams demand your attention. I remember days when I gave 100% and seemed to move backward, but I learned something valuable. Those seemingly fruitless days were building something inside me. Resilience, character, strength. Your challenge: do something today that your future self will thank you for. Something hard, something that scares you. Something that makes you grow. Remember this: the urge to quit is not your enemy. It's your opportunity. Every time you feel like giving up but choose to continue, you're building spiritual and mental muscle. You're becoming stronger. You're becoming unstoppable. When life punches you in the face, and it will, remember that this is not your pit, it's your platform. This is not your dead end, it's your turning point. This is not your failure, it's your fuel. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your calling. Don't give up on yourself, because the moment you're ready to quit is usually the moment right before the miracle happens. Stand strong. Keep moving, keep fighting, keep believing, because in the end, it's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you get back up. It's not about how easy the path is. It's about how determined your spirit is. So let me ask you one final question. When the storm comes, and it will come, will you be the one who breaks, or will you be the one who stands strong? The choice is yours. The time is now. And your destiny is waiting. Stand strong, my friend, no matter what.